Sadness, 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 sadness. I don't know. Sadness, grief, but without cause, without a target. Empty. How wonderful, you know? How wonderful when literally nothing really means anything and nothing ever cost anything. You know, only seemingly, only in a story. That, you know, you're just torn between something really happened, but also it's so obvious that nothing ever happened. No time and space, so when would it happen, you know, and to who? Just this, whatever is unfolding. Just a heartbreak, heartache. No hope, literally the absence of hope. No thoughts of hope. No images arising based upon hope. No fucking hope. Just sadness, just emptiness, just nothing, and there's no hope. Just the sense of story is lost. And there's no hope for anything. Because it's so obvious that nothing and no one can fill you up. There's no one here to be filled. There is no hole. Nothing is missing. There's just this fucking love, boundless, endless, unconditional love appearing as just sadness then, just emptiness. No hope, no thoughts, no images, just whatever, really just whatever. Only when there is thought of, I am suffering, this is happening to me, you know, that's the suffering. Oh, I had a shitty day, I've been suffering the whole day. Of course not. Only when there is thought of, I am suffering. Otherwise, it's just what's happening. It's just, you know, walking to the bathroom. It's just drinking tea. It's just answering a phone call at work. And then there's in between, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, poor me. And that's just this automatic, man. Everything is just automatic. No one is doing that. There is no one owning the thoughts. The thoughts aren't anywhere. Oh, it's so obvious. It's so funny. It's so funny with these stories of that thoughts are in your head. But of course they're not. Thoughts are almost like it's like a sound. It's like a sound you can't hear and an image you can't see, you know? It's so freaking abstract. It's just this, just something that's just filtering whatever is here. But that's not separate from what's being seen. There is no separation. There's only this fucking wholeness, this empty energy, this boundless whatever appearing as all of that at once. There is no overlay. There is no filter. That's just a dream. And beautiful words, you know? You can say it like that, but it doesn't mean anything. because you know that's a part of the chase then, that you need to get rid of this filter and like what's underneath the veil, what's beyond the veil of thought, the veil of emotion, the veil of separation. There is no veil, of course not. That's just a part of this funny expression, you know. There is no veil, there is only this, and this is already everything. This is already what's being looked for, and there's no one who can find it. There's just this apparent dream, this apparent lived experience of that you are here, you know. I am here, but actually you are not anywhere, you are not there. Yeah. I remember, but also not, I don't know, it's so weird that there used to be such a, it used to be so wrong to feel sadness or feel very empty or just, you know, very vulnerable, actually. That's the word I'm looking for, feeling very vulnerable. That used to be so wrong. So there used to be actions to make that go away, you know, or just full on thoughts of hope of something better or finding a reason or an explanation. And if you didn't find a reason and explanation for your sadness, oof, that was horrible. That was so scary. That was so fucking scary. When you were like, oh, but I got the job, I have the partner, I have all the material stuff. Why is this sadness here? Oh my God, I need to find a reason now. And maybe you go to a psychologist and they start to dig in your childhood and, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, or maybe, you know, it's, oh fuck, it's depression, you know, sadness without reason, that's depression. Fuck, that's so scary. If it has no reason, it has no solution. Oh my God, that's so scary. Suffering, you know, so much suffering. Oh, fuck, what a crazy ride. When you put it like that. How it really used to be like that. And no one choosing to do that. All of that is already automatic. The appearance, just this appearing as, you know, those stories. But it's beautiful though, because no one is doing that. That's just how this wants to be. That is just how this wants to be lived, you know? Yeah, really crazy. I remember in the story of Julia, you know, I had this collapse or like a crash when I was 22. You know, suddenly I just had a panic attack out of nowhere and it was so scary. And then there was just so much anxiety. And I remember how fucking contracted the body was all the time with this anxiety just bubbling up. I had it like this for almost a year. With, you know, as soon as the body was supposed to relax, the heart was starting to you know, there was so much energy and tension and movement in the body all the time. So I had problem with insomnia, I couldn't sleep. I was always like afraid of getting the anxiety, you know, those thoughts of, oh fuck, what if the anxiety comes? And there was so much fear of the anxiety. And then in the story, Julia went to a therapist and learned to just like observe the anxiety, to like not be afraid of it. But you know, it's just so weird when this is just like, wow, that was just happening without anyone. Julia didn't do anything. It was just a lived sense of, I am doing this, I am owning the story, but the story was going on by itself the whole time. I don't know why I started to talk about this actually. But yeah, it was, I remember that was so scary. Oh yeah, exactly, because everyone tried to find a reason, including me, you know, why was this happening to me? Why were my life out of nowhere just collapsing, you know? I had it all together, you know, in this fucking illusionary story how life is supposed to be. But I had it all checked. And then out of nowhere, and I had to just rebuild everything slowly. But yeah, it was so scary because everyone tried to find a reason, you know. Everyone was asking me, oh, but maybe this caused it and this caused it. And it was so obvious here that nothing really caused it. It just happened out of nowhere. But it was so scary though, that it had no cause. That was the most scariest part. That was, you know, the suffering, like, why is this happening to me? And there were no answers. This sense of me, it hates apparently to don't have any answers, because again, no answers means no solutions, no hope. And that was so scary. There was just no hope. I was just drowning in this darkness, kind of. Yeah, incredible, huh? Incredible. Just a story. Really just a story. Going on by itself, always causeless, always reasonless, since there is no separation. This is all just this whole, it's all one thing. But obviously no thing. And there's no one here who can take part in it. No one here who can discover that and experience that. No experiencer. So yeah, of course, when this illusionary lived sense of I am here starts to crumble, a lot of things goes with that. Hope, all these painful fucking stories of karma and to do good and to not do wrong. All this, you know, just fear all the time, fear of failure, fear of doing wrong. Exhausting. But that's just this love. You know, it's so empty. And apparently can appear really, you know, triggering and frustrating, because everything is the same. There really is no difference between this freaking phone and this face. There is no difference. There is no difference between anything, you know. The rocks are the same as the cats. It's just energy. It's just empty. There's no substance. There's nothing, you know. Nothing contains anything. Ugh, this can be so misinterpreted or whatever, you know, for a spiritual message. It's not. It's really not. It's not like that. There is no special energy. There is no, you know, higher level or whatever. No, of course not. Just words for what can't be described ever. But yeah, for example, there's this war now going on, right? Israel and I don't know how to say it in English, Palestine maybe, but yeah, there is just, you know, it's hard. Because when it's seeing images, for example, seeing images on the TV or phone of what's going on there can be emotion, you know. There can be no emotion or there can be emotion, and it's just, you're just fully absorbed in that then. There is no one thinking, oh, this is not real, it's just empty, it's not happening. There's none of that self-manipulating thing happening, you know. It's just full on the image of a mother holding her dead baby, and it's just, oh, and then there is just, you know, looking at something else, and there is no memory of the mother and the baby, you know. Everything just evaporates all the time, but not for anyone. If there's someone here, nothing evaporates, everything stays and sticks to the story, and it needs to have, you know, it gets put into a timeline. The person is the timeline. The person is the sense of time and space. Otherwise, empty, you know, because that's all illusionary, right? So it's just exactly like a dream. You had a very wild dream. It was so fucking vivid and painful. But then you wake up from the dream, you know, you're laying in your bed, and it's just like a sense of, oh, fuck, that was a wild dream. Maybe some images. And like a minute later, there's like no memory of it. It just went into nothing. So it's really like that. There is only what's happening. There is nothing else beyond and besides what's appearing. There's only this. No separation. I mean, there's literally only this. There's only looking at the phone, but no one is looking at the phone. It's all one appearance. And it's so empty, and there's no one did anything. No one is doing anything. There is no cause. There is no good and bad. For the person, yes. So there's no, here is no energy or need to argue with someone about anything, kinda. Maybe it can arise sometimes, but there's none of that. I am right and I need to defend, my opinions because I exist of my opinions. If I don't have opinions, who am I, The me is just built of opinions and stories and the path and my good and my bad and, all of this stuff. When there's none of that left, it's just so obvious that it's just what's happening. No one is doing it. It's all empty. Wow, but there's no one who is aware of that. So there's no conclusion. Oh, I don't even know what I said. It's all just being said from fucking nowhere. Yeah. In the story, I was very into, the good and the bad. It's just a story. That's how it is, I guess. But I was very active and demonstrating and doing all these things all the time. Ever since I was a little child, actually, when I was like 12, I started to love the Animal Liberation Front, and I was just, very active in those things from a young age. That was just a part of this story, a part of the play, but apparently when that just there no good and bad, it's all just this love appearing out of nowhere, and it has no meaning. There's nothing inside it. There's no substance. That urge, that just it just dropped. Obviously it's just seen as pointless. There's no one to fight. No one's fighting. It's just one appearing as a fight, appearing as war. But it's all the same. There is no sense of that something is really going on. But again, no one knows that. So when something is appearing, like I have a job where sometimes intense stuff happens. This is just full on taking fucking action and it's just doing without thinking. No one knows what's going on. There's no sense here of that I am doing it. No one is doing it. It's just being done, taking care of shit. That's just how this is. It's just, it just takes responsibility and do something about it. But right after, even it was really intense, maybe someone getting a seizure and laying on the ground shaking, and you need to take care of them, and there's an ambulance, and it's just full on action. When there's no image of that, when there's just, okay, now that's done, let's have a coffee, there's no memory of that even happened. There's no even memory of it in the body. It's just so empty, so light. I don't know. But it doesn't have to be like that. There are no rules, but it's just the story of it. It's just so empty, It's very weird to describe. Also because there are no rules. I'm not saying how things are. It's just one way of expressing this, and there are no right ways. So, but yeah. It's just so direct. Only what's happening and no one navigating within that. This is not separate from what's happening. There's only what's happening, and it's all one appearance, one thing just going on like this all the time. For nobody at all. No one here who is perceiving that. So of course, no one can come closer or further away. I didn't do anything. That's the fucking dream, that I did something, and all those stories are just part of the dream. And the dreamer has so many questions. It wants to know. And that's just how it is, apparently. Oh yeah, now I remember. I said I was sad before, right? Yeah, I'm sad. Oh, I can't help it. It's just so funny. It's just so funny. Full on heartbreak. Boom! And also that is just a story describing what's going on, and nothing is going on. But there's no one denying that. You're just fully absorbed in the grief, fully absorbed in the sadness, fully absorbed in the pain, fully absorbed in the whatever. No escape. There's no one who can escape. Not even in thought. Not even in dreamy images. There is just what's happening. Wow.